Blog Talk Radio.
You're tuned in to in5d Radio, the next dimension of radio, where we bring you the hottest, in-depth, spiritual, metaphysical, esoteric conversations and news, with your hosts Greg Prescott and Heidi Cole. Get ready for spirit, body, and mind to expand in 3, 2, 1.
Namaste, everyone, and happy Earth Day to everyone, and welcome to in5d Radio, coming to you from Sarasota, Florida, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and 12 a.m. midnight in the UK. I'm your host, Greg Prescott from in5d.com, and for the next 2 hours, we're going to be raising the vibration of the planet, galaxy, and universe. Tonight, our special guest will be animal communicator and healer, Els Basten. And right now, I'd normally be introducing my co-host, coming to you from New York City, singer, songwriter, stunt person, and author of the Subway Diaries, Heidi Cole. But I can't. We're having some issues on getting her in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have to continue on with the news myself, and I'll be looking for her to enter in on this conversation. So, moving on with the news, I apologize for this right now, and we'll hopefully get this worked out. I know that Blog Talk Radio is having some issues with the chat room, so as a matter of fact, right now I'm going to launch the chat, and the chat should be up and going, but as I posted on Facebook, they were having issues with the chat room. Hopefully that pops up, and thanks to everybody for bearing with us. Okay, now we're going to take a quick peek at the news. Imagine having no energy bills. Stephen Greer's disclosure video called Serious made its debut today for those who pre-ordered the movie. The cost of the video is $9.99, and all revenue from this video will go toward the implementation of free energy systems, which will bring us into a new era of existence by collapsing the petrodollar and the outdated need for coal, oil, and gas. If you would like to see this full feature presentation, then click the link below this video. According to Greer, we could feasibly have free energy within the current year. Now, I know money is tight for a lot of people, but to me, it's a worthwhile investment. And finally, who else's head is spinning from all the disinfo that's being put out by the mainstream media regarding the Boston bombing and the Texas fertilizer plant incident? Today, Glenn Beck released his overhyped disclosure about the big news that would crumble the current administration. According to Beck, the Saudi national that everyone was talking about is a known terrorist with 6 terrorists in his family and an additional 5 in Guantanamo Bay right now. This is the same person that the current administration decided to send back to Saudi Arabia without any further questioning. As it turns out, this appears to be a well-scripted psyop intended to keep our collective focus off the people who were really wearing those specific backpacks. And when you look at the video evidence, it does not appear to be the boys who were apprehended. In a related story, I posted a video on in5d News today about back-to-back callers on C-SPAN who thought the Boston Marathon incident was a false flag. So, as you can see, people are waking up and are asking the right questions. One last thing I'd like to point out, the mainstream media has been conditioning us by pushing the idea of a civil war for several months. Now, the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was in 1776 during the American Revolution. So it's possible that those in power are trying to divert a revolution through a civil war. There's a big difference between the two. A civil war involves a country's citizens fighting against one another, while a revolutionary war usually involves the overthrowing of a government, which is most likely why the United States government bought enough hollow point ammunition to put 5 bullets in every American citizen. According to the Geneva Convention, hollow point ammo is not allowed in foreign conflicts, so it can only be used domestically. And you can be pretty much assured that the shadow government is well aware of what Pluto in Capricorn means. If you look at the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, their motto says ordo ab chaos, which means order out of chaos. With all the disinfo that's going on, that's exactly what we're seeing. So when you step back and look objectively at the picture, you can clearly see what's going on, and that's to get us to fight with one another on a larger scale through a civil war. But because Pluto is in Capricorn until 2023, A revolution is inevitable, and if you look around the world, it's already happening in many places. Inevitably, we're going to see the collapse of money, religion, and government as we know it, and that will give us the opportunity to rebuild everything in the best interests of humanity. So hang in there, everyone, and please don't buy into the fear. We can all speculate on who was responsible for these acts of terror, but ultimately, the karma that will inevitably be repaid is not our burden. All we can do is send positive thoughts, intention, and prayers to the victims and their families while encouraging other people to stop buying into the propaganda box that we call the mainstream media. Now, I'm going to see, let me see, I see people on chat right now. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear anything?
Greg, it's Heidi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I called in on my cell, so I may break up a lot. They wouldn't let me on, so I'm here.
Oh, wow, that's good timing.
Yeah, I have a little news this week as well regarding Boston and Texas, same subject. It's been somewhat of a mind trip for everyone, asleep or awake on the planet, and I think it's given us all whiplash at this point. I actually think John B. Wells on Coast to Coast this Saturday summed it up as concisely as I've heard to date. He said, "I'm not being insensitive. I do not intend to be so in any way, but I'll remind you that governments have killed more people than anything else, any pandemic, any accident. And while I admire the work of the 9,500 police officers and their affiliates in tracking down these two kids, I want you to take a good look at what martial law looks like and what it takes to create it, and don't let it happen." Secondly, in the midst of the 24/7 coverage of the Boston bombing, the House of Representatives passed CISPA, or the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, this week. Coincidence? Perhaps. Perhaps not. The Guardian News said this week, the House of Representatives passed the controversial cybersecurity bill this week. It passed by a 288 to 127 vote. From here, it will move to the Senate and then to the President's desk. The bill allows private businesses to share customers' personal information with any government entity, including the National Security Agency. That means basically your freedom to even listen to programs such as this is under fire. And Digital Trends magazine has just published a list of over 800 corporations who have voiced their support for CISPA. And I quote, "As you can see, the list of CISPA supporters is massive and should be give anyone who thinks this will be an easy political fight a dose of reality. Not that CISPA can't be stopped, but, well, scroll down and you'll see what we mean." Now, the list is so long it would take the entire 2 hours to read on air, so I urge you to go to in5d.com and check it out for yourself, the title being The List of 800 Supporters of CISPA. And if you wish to get involved in stopping the madness, Digital Trends states that starting on Monday, that's today, a variety of organizations plan to launch a week of action campaign against CISPA. That could be why we're having some snafus here. Which could result in CISPA, a bill they believe remains dangerously broad in its language, which could result in abuse by the government and damages to our civil liberties. So I urge you all to keep an eye out for these actions online and on in5d.com, as it will take a great effort on all of our parts to keep this from going through. Are we ready to, Greg, to welcome Els on board?
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm not. We have a couple callers here, and I'm not sure which one Els would be. I thought she was calling in on Skype.
Okay,
well, I've got her on
516
Skype.
is gone. You got her.
Okay, I have her on Skype, so I'm asking her what number she's using. So hang in there, folks.
In the meanwhile, let me just familiarize you all with Els. Els Basten is one of those rare treasures who I personally believe is an example of what is possible for the future and I don't just mean survival, but the actual thriving of our planet. Els is an animal communicator and healer with a fascinating story involving illness, spiritual breakthroughs, and healings. Via spiritual and energetic and real-life hands-on connectedness between human and animal, and vice versa, Els creates a world where animals and humans do not just coexist, but mutually thrive. So I'm hoping we can get her on the board pretty soon.
Well, what she's saying is that she's getting a busy signal. So what I'm going to do is call her on Skype, and then, yeah, actually, I can add to a group call. Let me try that.
I don't know. I guess the chat is still not working for everyone.
So this is new territory for me. Hopefully I'll be able to get her on through this way.
Great. Launch chat. I see chat. Chat might be working.
Oh, yeah, it is. There's people in chat.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yay.
I'm calling Els right now. So hopefully I can get her on.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Els.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
All right.
Hi, how are you?
This has been something.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm sorry. I have to apologize, Els, because apparently tonight Blog Talk Radio is acting really funny. They're having issues with the chat room, but we finally got through to you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love it. Thank you. Wow.
We just introduced you to everyone, and I wanted to ask, well, first of all, let me say that it's 1 a.m. in the Netherlands for Els. So I want to thank you for agreeing to stay awake for this here on in5d, and welcome to the in5d family, Els. It's amazing to have you on. We're so excited. And
thank you.
I know. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love the energy of the night. It's so soothing, you know, and so quiet. So it's a very good time to talk to you.
Perfect. Perfect. So I know you treat both humans and animals, and we're inseparable here on planet Earth, but if you don't mind, I'd like to at least start with concentrating on your abilities with animals and communicating and healing them. Could you share with us your story, how you came to the place you are today and the journey you took to get here?
Yes. Well, it started with me. I first went through a very long developed process myself. I had chronic fatigue. I had it for about 11, 12 years, and in a very serious form. So it kind of forced me to really look at myself and to look at the way I was living, to look at my destiny, my mission, and because I had it kind of sorted out, like I thought, oh, I'm going to do high school and this and that, and then I'm going to be a medical doctor or something, and I was kind of forced to do it another way, and now when I'm looking back, I'm really grateful for that I was allowed to take another path. But it started, the communication with animals started actually at I was in a little bit of a depression because I didn't know anymore what to do to heal, to get my power back. And it was a day that I was lying on my bed and I thought, oh my God, I have the feeling that I really tried everything, all the doctors, all the alternative ways, all the healers, and in that moment a voice said to me, hello, I'm here too, I'm going to help you and you can help me, and there are so many more possibilities than you were ever aware of. There's so much more. And I was like, who is talking to me, you know? And this voice said, I'm here, I'm lying next to you, and I'm so grateful that you can finally hear me talk to you. And it turned out that my dog was talking to me, and I never knew that I could hear my dog in this way. I mean, I always had a very sensitive connection with animals, but I could never hear them speak. And now I know they were always talking to me, but this was the moment that something in me opened up, that I could really hear their voices and feel their energy and see what was happening with them. And that is how the big story of animal communication, animal healing started. And of course I was very curious to how my dog was feeling, how he was experiencing the world, and if I was doing it right with him. That is a question that a lot of clients ask me: am I really doing it right with my dog or my cat? And that moment, it was really, really strong, the connection I felt with him, that I could hear him. And then I had a time that it felt like it was gone again, because I started to think about it. I thought, oh my God, this is so cool, and I can talk to him, I can ask him everything, what he wants to eat, what he wants to do. But it was not so easy. He showed me what was possible, and then he showed me which way I had to take to really, really become who I really am. And it took me a few years to really find out who I am, and I mean, I'm exploring every day, and every day is still like a journey in myself. Like, we're never, of course, never ready with learning and developing, and every day a little bit more revealed itself. It felt like that, and I started to talk to other animals, and every time I was in my mind that I thought, oh wow, then I can do this and this, then it didn't work. Only when I could completely let go of have no attachment at all, just let go of everything, then it started to flow. And that is something that I worked a lot on, to practice with other animals, to find out how to fine-tune the frequency that we have with animals, because we are, of course, like you said too, we are all the same, all equal, but they do have a different frequency of where they communicate on, and that I really had to find out, like how to tune into that and how to heal them, and because it's such a different level again to communicate and then to give healing. And so it was an amazing journey, and still every day when I speak with animals, I learn so much, and they show me, and also the connection they have with their human being, how much they tell me about their human being and what they can do and what they want to teach them. It's like a big new world, and yeah, for me it's an amazing gift to be able to see that and feel that, and really be able to do something for this animal, and also for the human beings, for the owner of the animal.
It's such a fascinating journey. I'm so intrigued by the entire process that you've gone through and that you continue to go through. I wondered, and you somewhat mentioned this, do you notice through the work with the animals, do you notice a tremendous change in their owners? I don't really like that name, but yeah. I struggled as I prepared for tonight as what to call the mom and dad of the parents. But
yeah, I know. I have exactly the same thing, that I don't know what kind of name you have to give it, because also a guardian is not really like they are more a guardian for you. And
exactly.
I think maybe I will invent a word. We can invent a word.
I think that's a good idea. A pet friend, perhaps, or something.
How about fellow companion?
Yeah.
That's a fellow companion.
Yeah.
I love that much more than owner.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't. I was struggling. Nothing felt right. But do you notice a transformation in both parties? We'll say in your work during the process. I would expect that the companion, the fellow companion, is transformed as perhaps as much as the animal is.
Yes, definitely. I had to learn to take it very easy with the people, because people come to me and they are like, yes, my animal has a problem, a behavior problem or something else, and can you help us with that? And a lot of times it has so much to do with the fellow companion. It's funny. So much mirroring is taking place, and not always. I mean, when an animal is very sick, it has not always to do with the owner, but I had to find a way to tell them very gently, like, maybe it is possible that you change a little bit too in your behavior. And a lot of people are very open for that because they love their animals and they don't care what they have to do as long as the animal will heal or feel better. And so most of people are very open for that, and they make a huge transformation, and that's the whole meaning why this animal is with them, or mostly, of course, also sharing love. But I mean, it's all about love and lightening up, you know, and have fun, and also not taking everything too seriously. And an animal is so good in showing us that.
It's fascinating. That brings me to another question. When I was growing up, we always had dogs, 3 or 4, I think, in my childhood, and I loved them. But the home I grew up in was a very frightening place for especially the kids. And all of our dogs had this shaking tremor condition, variations on a theme. So I'm guessing perhaps it was frightening for them as well, but I've always wondered if they were mirroring the energy of the house, and I guess you've encountered this.
Yes, I have a feeling it can have different reasons, or a few together, because they feel the energy, because I mean, the animals are so open and so intuitive, and they feel everything, and they are also transforming things for you. They felt you were so feeling not safe, and they transform it for you, and if they don't show certain signs, then they will store it in their body, and then they will get sick. So that is also a reason why, like, some dogs are aggressive or barking a lot, or having skin problems. Sometimes they find their own way to let it go, because intuitively they know, if I don't let it go now, I will get really sick, because it gets blocked and blocked and more in the body. And that's why I encourage, during sessions, I encourage the dog sometimes to bark or to make noises, because at that moment when I work with them, they are really letting go on a deep level. And then the owner says, oh my God, he never made such noises, or weird things, or he didn't walk around like this, but then they are really moving the body or letting the body speak to let it go. And that's also what they do when they are with their fellow companions, because they know it's with human beings. If we don't speak about our emotions, we can get very sick, because it gets so blocked. And the animals are most of the time much more intuitive to know, okay, this is not an option for me to keep it in, so I have to talk in my own way, you know.
Fascinating. So I'm curious. Do you when you first, if someone brings you an animal, a dog, and do you first, what is your process? A quick overview. I know every animal would be different, of course, but do you lay your hands on them? Do you stand back? What do you do when you first approach an animal and help them?
When they come to me in my practice here, then I, like, dogs and cats come here, and some rabbits, and if there are horses or cows, then I go to the people. I mostly, in the beginning, I just talk to the fellow companions, and we just make a little chit-chat, and in that talk, I'm already connecting to the animal, I'm observing the animal, and it's all a little bit in a very subtle way, and I make slowly contact. I never approach the animal immediately, because a lot of animals really like it if they can sniff a little bit, and if you have some time that they can get used to you. And then I sit back and I take a piece of paper and I draw and sign and write everything that I feel and see. And then I start to translate it into human language to tell the owner a little bit what is going on and where the blocks are, what the causes are. And then, if necessary, I start to treat the animal and really I activate healing energy in my hands. It's something that my dog also teaches me how to do. And I let it flow. I ask where to put my hands. With most animals, I don't even touch them. It's too strong for them. They prefer to have a little space. Some I hold like a few centimeters, and some really want to be further away from me. And so I look, what can they handle, how much can they have, and then I just let it flow, and I see the meridians, what is happening, the chakras and the organs, and I often say to the people, oh, I wish I could make a picture or something, what is happening, because they see that the behavior is changing or that the animal is very calm or, like I said before, is going to bark or something to let things go. But it's amazing what I see then in colors and energies and openings, and it's a whole new world.
It's fascinating. It's so fascinating, and I want to just reiterate what I said at the beginning about you, Els, that we're running around on this planet, this is wrong and that is wrong, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and we like this, we don't like this, and here you are living the change, living what is possible. And I don't know whether you agree with me on this, but I feel as if we all have bits of this potential in different areas and stronger in some, but everyone has an ability to bond with the planet, whether it be animals or plants or earth energy, whatever it is, and to see someone like you, to hear, to listen to someone like you living it as their life. It's almost as if you are inhabiting a different planet. But this is why I brought you on, because I feel it, especially right now, it's so important for people to know what's possible, and that this is obviously a skill and a gift that you've been given, and it's strong, like a concert pianist and in their skill. But all of us can stop and listen and hear. All of us can stop and listen and hear. And I think it's highly important that we do so, especially now. And so I want to thank you.
But it's amazing what you do. I mean, everybody has their gift, and if we don't try to copy one another, then if everybody lives their own unique mission and identity, and I know that for so many people, they are like, but I don't know what my mission is. I don't know where to go. And being in the unknown is, if you can surrender to the unknown, then it will come.
I agree.
And I mentioned that too. Yeah. I mentioned that also on how to find your life purpose on in5d.com. I wrote several articles on that, where every day you're really being pointed towards your life direction, your purpose. It's just a matter of paying attention to all the things that are going on in your life and seeing what direction that it's pointing you toward.
Yes, I so agree. But some people have such big traumas or negative beliefs about themselves that they really feel they are really not able to see the truth anymore, or they get caught up in all the news that they see, and they see it as the real truth, that they cannot see anymore that all that is in the news, that is not the only thing there is. I mean, I'm aware of everything that happens, and I know it happens, but there's also, like war, you cannot change it with aggression or anything. Only peace and love and light. And if they say we need dark to see the light, and that's true, of course. If there was only light, we could we didn't know that there was something else. It's not possible to have light without dark. And I think it's mostly about how to deal with things and how to look at them. This afternoon I spoke with a very nice man who lives in Boston, where of course something terrible happened, and he said, I went to the grocery store and I gave my ear, I gave my energy to those people. I listened to them and I shared my love and my light with them just by being there for them. And he said, it's so beautiful to do that in such a terrible situation. And I think it's as really to do if you can feel the compassion to others. And really, it's such a challenge to stay in your own energy when all around you feels like falling apart. I think that's one of the biggest challenges, to carry your light everywhere you go with so many other things around you.
When you say that you have to stay in your own energy, you know, we're living in this world of duality and polarity where, as you mentioned too, you know, a lot of this stuff is giving us valuable life lessons despite, you know, some of the outcomes that we're experiencing. Now, I got to mention this too. A few days ago, I was telling Els about this book written by William Shreve and recommended by Santos Bonacci called Personalities of the Zodiac, and I knew when I looked at her she was a fellow Libra because of her vertical dimples. Now, okay, now Els, I had a German Shepherd who I had to put to sleep at the age of 7. He visits me often in my dreams. What can you tell us about our pets when they pass over to the other side? Are these dreams more real than anything else?
Wow, yeah, I experienced it myself too, very consciously with my dog, and I think they really try to, well, a few weeks ago, one of my best friend's doggy got very sick. He got attacks in the brain, and it was all very bad, and I went there, and she told me, I'm really so tired, I can't anymore, but this attack will not kill me because I know my fellow companions, they need time to say goodbye and I need time to say goodbye. She had the chance to really communicate that also to them, that she needed time, and she was only for 30% still in her body, so a lot of from her energy was already going to the light. And she is, the first few days she was very close. After she passed away, they had a beautiful, they said goodbye and everybody came. It was really beautiful, very conscious process for everybody. And the first few days she was able to come, and then she was away for a few days. She needed to make her journey, and they also had to let her go and let her really make her journey to the light with the angels and the guardian deities. And now she's able to also, like you experienced with your German Shepherd, to come in their dreams, because we don't think in our dreams. We are so open and we are not thinking, and then they can just enter your world and talk to you, and then you wake up like, wow, isn't that magic then, to wake up with a feeling like, wow, I just felt and heard and saw my dog.
It felt so real. He's always happy, and he's right next to me, and we're just hanging out and having a great time. And to me, the message I'm getting is that he just wants me to know that he's safe and he's happy, and that he's also thinking about me like I'm thinking about him.
Wow, I so agree with that.
Now, staying on German Shepherds, and then Heidi, I'll let you ask away. One of my friends, Leela Grace, has a question for you about German Shepherds. Leela would like to know what special connections German Shepherds have to humanity.
Mm-hmm. German Shepherds, my experience with them is that they are really, you really have to give them a certain challenge in their life. They want to work, and not only in a physical way, they want to, I mean, every dog has it, but it's also like one dog is smarter than the other. The German Shepherds are really, they have very evolved brain, and they can really, truly, very precise read your energy, read your thoughts. So with German Shepherds, it's especially, also with other dogs, but this a little bit more, my experience, and to really be convinced and be true to yourself about what you are learning them, because if you teach them something and you think or feel something else, they will respond to the thinking or the feeling, and then they will get very confused, and you as the owner as well. And that is, especially with this type of breed, very important to be, with them you can really learn to be very aligned with what you feel and say and do.
I was just going to add that there was one time where my dog was being really hyper, and I rubbed my hands together, focused on energy, and I was with my daughter at the time. She might have been 10 or 12 years old or so. And I placed my hands on his head after rubbing them together with the energy, and he laid down and went to sleep. And that's what I was focusing on, relax, relax. So he did have that ability, like you said, to essentially read my mind.
And I love that you say that, because it is so easy to go into the energy of a nervous animal, that if an animal is very hyper or even also aggressive, to go into their energy with the same energy or attitude. And it's so wonderful that you could see, oh, my dog is in discomfort, and I really did now relaxation and calmness. It's beautiful that you could do that, because I know we are so close with our animals that sometimes the energies are really emerging, that it's very easy to go into each other's energy and really feel what the other person feels. And that's also why so many animals show disease or sickness when their fellow companion is sick, because everything is so aligned with each other, and so the energies are constantly touching, you know?
Well, I told my daughter, I said, do you want me to try it on you now? She goes, no, and we still laugh about that. Heidi?
I wanted to know, Elton, maybe other people are thinking this as well. Are you able to work with people in other countries, and how, via Skype, or how since it seems as if much of your work is energetic, can you work with people in America or other countries?
Yes, I do. I work with people. You could say that maybe it seems like it's easier to work with people because you can really talk to them through Skype, but it's also possible with animals, because also here in the Netherlands, where I work and live, a lot of people ask me to work with their animal through a picture or also via Skype. And in the beginning, I even only did sessions with a picture, because I was not distracted all the time by a person who was asking me, and is it working, or this or that, you know. I was really distracted in the beginning. So I teach myself first to work with a picture, and I noticed that I could really give healings, and that the energies were really changing, even though people were like so far away from me. And so it definitely works. And wow, it's important to believe in it, but even if you don't believe in it, it works, because everything is energy. You can block it with your mind, but when you go deeper and deeper, even the mind cannot. The mind wants to understand it, but it's impossible to really describe everything in words. And I think you really know that, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that goes back to what we were saying before with your work and other people's work. When you find your joy, your passion, the common denominator is energy. And it's and in that sense, it's all the work is the same, because it's all on energy. I wanted to know, so we know your feelings on animals and a little bit so far on humans. What are your feelings about, and this is an area that's close to my heart because I'm sort of a plant person here. So what are your feelings about the plant kingdom? There's this documentary called The Secret Life of Plants, where they prove that just like animals, plants too have consciousness. What is your sense on that topic?
I really agree with that. I think they even did scientific tests, like if you talk to a plant, or if you yell at a plant, or if you send love, what a difference it is in growing, or some plants even die when you keep yelling at them. And I think they have a different, if you can speak of a consciousness, than animals have, because they are also on another frequency. But I mean, for example, I go every morning very early, I go to the forest to just thank and feel and reload, and I feel in certain areas the energy is very heavy. The plants transform a lot and they cannot really let it go, because in certain areas on the planet there's so much negativity, for example, to transform. And other areas are much lighter, and I know this is the energy of the plants and the trees and the animals who live there. And it's so important to feel the gratitude for nature and for the ocean and the mountains, because without them we would definitely not be able to live, of course.
Absolutely. It's interesting to me. I'm like a plant rescuer here in New York, and people throw plants out when they think they're done with, and I see them. I'm like, no, this isn't done. This is just beginning, and I nurse them back and then give them away to people as gifts. And it's so interesting to see how plants will mimic you. When my energy and my vibration is high, the plants will have grown a foot overnight, literally. I have vines crawling over bookshelves, and it's hysterical. They have a total life of their own, and likewise, if I'm not feeling well, their growth is curtailed. It sort of halts a little bit for a while. I just think it's fascinating. And in this movie, it was really interesting. They put electrodes on the plants, and they did an experiment where they left, and they had some little brine shrimp that they had automatically timed to fall into boiling water. And the plant responded energetically to this death of the little shrimp. Likewise, when they did an experiment in Russia, and they had a head of cabbage, and the electrodes were attached to a plant next to the cabbage, and an assistant began to chop the cabbage, and the plant responded vibrationally as well. I'm fascinated by this, and I spend so much time with plants and animals. It's just intriguing to me. So much we can learn from them, and so much healing they can offer us, and likewise back to them. And in continuation, a whole new world, right?
It's interesting because you say, like, if I'm not feeling well, then you see it also in the energy of the plant. And I mean, it's with animals the same, so I recognize a lot in that. But I never really did research in plants, but I feel their energy and I thank them. I see that when I'm for example, last weekend I had a friend coming over, and I said, oh my God, in the 1 hour that you were here, we had so much fun and joy. The flowers opened up so quickly, and I was really aware of that. So I thought of that right now when you said that, and I think it's wonderful to be aware of that and to do something with it.
You know, for those people who are interested in researching that, we have several articles on in5d. One's called Amazing Singing Plants Phenomenon. Another one's called The Consciousness of Water and Plants. A third one is called Do Plants Think? So there's a lot of great information out there. Now, we do have a question from the chat room from Gemini Moon, who says, my cat Sasha is 3 years old. I'm not sure why she has the need to sit on my lap a lot. She also wakes me up by pushing off my dresser every morning. Is she trying to tell me something?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
It seems like she's communicating all the time. What I would suggest is that I'm sorry, I forgot the name from the caller.
Gemini Moon.
Gemini Moon. I think it's because it sounds pretty chaotic and also like really loving that she always wants to be on his lap. And I would really go in a deep meditation. I have the feeling he or she can, for example, I mean, when people come with their animal to me, I'm really working with the animal and I'm teaching the human being too, but I translate things. But I have the feeling he can do or she can do this by going deep in meditation. It's very important to let go that you want to hear the answer and breathe very, very, very deep in and out for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then ask directly in your head to the cat, what do you mean? What do you want? And I know for sure that there or will come a color or a word or something will come up, and then it's like, wow. Or like the next day she goes to her work or something, and then she hears the word or sees the color and she knows exactly what it means. It isn't. Some things go very deep and some things are very easy. Some cats or dogs say like, this is really the reason why I do this, or I want different food, or I want this or this. I have the feeling this goes deeper, and it has really to do with mirroring the owner, but in a very, very loving way, but also like, hey, wake up. Is there something he or she needs to wake up for, you know? You know what I mean?
Well, I hope that answered Gemini's question. I have a question for you too. Do we choose our pets or do they choose us?
Well, I believe unconsciously we choose them, but they choose us more with a conscious mind. They are more aware of it, and we are not so aware always of why we choose our animal, but they know exactly why they come to us at the beginning, that they meet you, or already before.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I was wondering about that too, because when I picked out my shepherd, he seemed like the smartest out of the bunch. Not that the other ones were dumb, but he just seemed like the most loving and all. So.
Yeah, I also feel that, like with human beings too, in intelligence, you have very different levels in human beings and in animals. And some animals can carry very high energy. Some animals need energy from a different level, not less or more, but it's just they really feel like what kind of person they have to pick to take them beyond their limits. It's like some people who are ready to take a big step in their spiritual growth, they often attract an animal that is very sensitive and shows them, for example, to live more consciously, eat healthier because the animal needs to eat healthier, or this animal needs a lot of exercise, and you know that they are so clever, but they don't think about it. It's just normal for them because they feel who they are and they don't think about it. That's why often it's easier to heal an animal than heal a human being, because we have so many beliefs that are blocking us. Like, when we don't believe we can heal, why would our body want to heal? When we carry no hope, why would our body do all the effort to heal when we don't even believe in it? And with animals, if I give them healing, if it feels good for them, they just let it happen, and not a moment that they think about it if it's okay. They just feel, and that's really special in working with animals. And it's even the human mind can block the healing process of an animal because they don't really believe in it, but often they have tried so many things that they are in a state of mind like it doesn't matter anymore what you do as long as it helps. And actually, if you think about it, it's a very nice state of mind because it doesn't matter anymore. You can let go of attachment, and that feels so deliberating. I mean, of course, you have the worries for your animal, but you can let it happen and let it be without thinking about every single thing that you do, because that is what makes us so tired often.
Greg, do you have a follow-up on that? I guess he's gone.
Sorry?
No, that's okay. I was just seeing if Greg was there. I had a follow-up to the animal-plant-human connection that I wondered about. So, given that we're all conscious at different vibration levels, and everything is connected, I don't know. Are you a vegetarian?
Yes.
You are. I assumed
yes.
so, but I didn't want to just assume before I asked.
Yeah, I wondered about. I felt like, because I ate meat, I don't eat meat anymore since like 7 years, but it just happened that I was eating it and I thought, oh, why am I eating this? I don't judge people who do. I mean, I also have leather shoes, and I mean, but I feel deep gratitude for what animals do for us, and I think if people need meat, I think it's okay. Of course, organic meat would be so much better, but it's also about with what attention you take it. Do you appreciate it that this animal lived for you? You know, but I work so close with animals that if I eat meat, I cannot have it in my body because for me it feels terrible, and I dream about having living pigs on my plate talking to me, and I mean, then really, believe me, you cannot eat meat anymore.
I understand, and it changes your ability to communicate. I find that with my music, you can't reach other beings, whether it's human or animals or plants as well. Your vibration is slowed way down. But I had a question, and so if we put plants into this equation as also having consciousness, so what are your feelings about the future of humans on planet Earth? Do you think we're headed for breatharianism, where people no longer need to consume other conscious beings, whether it be plants or animals or other, or maybe you've not given that thought, I don't know.
I have, I mean, we see already that things are changing a lot. Like in this new year in 2013, I feel so many changes in we cannot hold things back anymore. We have to live what we feel, and the more spiritual you are, the more you feel it. The more sensitive you are, the more you feel it. But it's so many things are already changing, and still terrible things happen. And but like here in Holland, there was something happened with that there was horse meat in certain meals that were in the supermarket, and it appeared that there was horse meat in it. And since then, so many people started to eat organic food because they were like, oh my God, I have no idea anymore what there is in the food, because they write it on the label, but it doesn't have to be true. And I think certain things like this happen now to make us so aware of what is the real truth and not what they tell us what the truth is, and we are more thinking for ourselves and feeling for ourselves. That's the feeling I have. It might take a while, but I think every little step is one, and I really believe it will change for the better.
I see that we have a caller.
Great.
Area
oh my
code.
gosh, caller.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Somebody got through, and I apologize. I know people have been having a hard time getting through on our call-in line tonight, such as Els. But 720, what's your name and what's your question? Are you there? 720, area code. Hello. Going once. We're going to put you on hold.
Hello.
right now. And if you...
Can I say something about, or are they here now? Or not?
I'm not sure. 720.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Welcome to in5d Radio. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Jane. How are you?
Hi, Jane. We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well tonight. I'm out in Kansas, and I noticed that you do animal communications. And I have a dog here that I love very, very much, and he's 11 years old. And he and I have been with each other pretty much almost every day since he was born, because I work from home, and we're always around each other. And I just wondered if, I just kind of tuned in, so I wasn't sure, is there a question I need to ask, or is there a way to communicate if I would ask, like, when I talk to him, does he really understand how much I love him?
Jane, what is your dog's name?
His name is Bojo.
Bojo, okay. It's funny because he shows a very strong point in his head, and he says, I already know what you're going to say or what you think before you even think or say it. So the connection between you feels very, very, very open. Do you feel that? Like, for example, you think something and he already does it?
Yeah, sometimes when we're waking up in the morning, he sleeps next to me, and I'm already kind of awake and thinking about what I'm going to do for the day. He, like, raises his head up, like, I haven't made a noise, but, like, he, it's like, okay, here we go.
Wow. He's very, very open for the visions you bring in your head. For example, if you want something from him, or if you want to tell him something, even when you're not physically aware, he is constantly very, very close to what you see and feel and think. And that is, a lot of animals have that, but some have it more than the others. And I feel with Bojo, it's almost like you two live in the same energy. And what I would suggest for you is that you make deep breathings together with him, because this will sometimes give you both a little bit space. Like Bojo gets a little bit in his own space, and you too, and you will feel that you can even understand him better because you feel yourself more, and then you can connect to Bojo from another point of view. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yep. And he was asleep, and he just woke up, and he's looking right at on my telephone.
And what he would love is that you hold your right hand on his belly and your left hand close to the beginning of his tail on his back. And if you do that, then you breathe in and out for 3 times, very slowly. And this will help him sometimes to calm his stomach a little bit. He tells me he has sometimes a little bit of stomach that's upset, and in this way you can support him with that.
Oh, you're very good, yes, because I've been going through the last couple of years a lot of stuff, and especially in the last year, and he had started to get, pace around at night, and he lay down only for a few minutes at a time, and I'd rub his stomach, and then he'd fall asleep for just a few minutes, and then he'd get up and pace around again, and, I know he's picking up on my upset, but since things have calmed down with me now, I can tell a big difference, yeah, so it's pretty amazing, but I keep telling him, you got to stay with me, I love you so much, so.
Yes, and that's why it's good that sometimes when you do very deep breathing that you both feel your own energy a little bit more. Then it's also more convenient, and You can feel each other when I wanted to say person, he feels like a person. Then it's, you can feel each other, but you don't have to live each other's emotions. That is only giving discomfort to both of you, because he feels yours, and then you give him massage or healing, then you're constantly in the same energy. And if you can just breathe deep and put your hands on him and just 3 deep breaths, it will. I'm really convinced that this will help him with his stomach, because this has a lot to do with worrying, and he's a little bit worried about you sometimes. So you can tell him then also, don't you worry about me, I'm really strong enough to handle this myself, and you can stay in your own energy, and we can be there for each other, but we don't have to live each other's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Please, if he looks at you with the big eyes, please give him a big hug for me.
Aw.
I will. He's a sweetie. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, he is.
Thanks, Jane.
Thanks,
I'll
Jane.
keep listening. Bye-bye.
But this
Els,
is easier when you speak with, like, the cat. I just wanted to start about the cat before this woman came through, Jane, because sometimes it takes a little bit more time to connect with an animal that I don't know anything about, or that I didn't speak to the owner. I forgot the name again. It's the wrong name. But and then sometimes when they feel like, okay, now I'm ready to come, then they come. So I will tell something more about the cat later, about Sasha.
Perfect. Els, I had a question, have you found that the economic downturn and all this chaos has had an effect not only on the companions, but on the pets and animals that come your way? And are you noticing any patterns of unease or imbalance stemming from the stress and everything going on the planet?
With the economical, you mean?
Whether it's affecting the animals in ways that perhaps it wasn't before. Are you noticing any patterns in them? And also whether are these things actually serving to bring the animals and their companions perhaps closer together, because they have to, instead of just sort of coexisting under the same roof? I mean, going through this process.
Yes, I believe that by all the things that are happening outside of us, we more and more notice that this is not who we are, and this doesn't have to be the truth. And the more we come closer to ourselves, the more we can truly feel our animal. The less we worry, the more we feel, because we are more pure, we're more light. And when you work with the light, or when you carry the light inside of you, you attract other light, and you can attract the other frequency. So my experience is that people only become more close to their animal, and it's also that when they become closer, it's more often that animals that they can feel what their animal is feeling. And it's also confusing people sometimes, because they don't know how to deal with that, or they start to think about it like, oh, is this true? And that's what I guide them in, to learn what is really what they hear and what is their thought. But yes, I really believe that we only come closer and closer to each other. Even also if we let go that there are limits, or that borders somebody made the borders in the world, but are there really borders?
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah. So much is sort of we grow up thinking it's truth, and someone just made it up. Greg, do you have some more questions there?
Well, actually, I see we have another caller, a good friend of in5d Radio, Sean Cohan. So we're going to bring Sean aboard. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hi, Greg. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Elle.
Hi, Sean. Nice to meet you.
I'm on your side of the world. I'm in London.
Oh, nice. Well, so it's now 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
here. That's right. So
Wow.
I want to get my question in before I fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Not because the show isn't great, but because it's late here. I have a 2.5-year-old male cat, which he was when we went to get him, he was just a kitten. And we were originally going to get his sister. The sister turned her back on us, and he just walked right up on my daughter's lap and sat there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty clear he picked us. He picked her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we took him home. And he was really supposed to be her cat. And so she's 16 now, so she was 14 or 13 and a half when we got him. And I don't know what happened, but somehow in the process, he seems to be, and he's been like this for a long time. He seems to see her. He's not as affectionate, I think, as maybe a female cat. I don't know, or it's just his personality. He's lovely. We love them both very much, but he seems to swat her, try and bite her. He doesn't really, for whatever reason, and it does upset my daughter, because she doesn't understand, and neither do I, because, I know she's 16 now, she's not at home as much, but this has been going on for a while. I don't know if he's jealous because she's got a boyfriend now, but it could also be that this started even before that. So, and he's climbed up on my desk and walked on my laptop while you were speaking. So I figured he wants you to talk to me. He wants you to tell me what's going on.
Now, what's his name?
Romeo.
Oh, wow.
Romeo.
He tells me that your daughter is discovering her own world, and he would like, he doesn't respond to when she is like, oh, why is this happening? I mean, I understand, but he's not going into this. He's very, very straight, like, I'm here to, he loves her, she really needs to know this. He loves her unconditionally, and that's why he's showing this behavior. And it sounds maybe weird, but he's a little bit like, he's not a little bit, but he is her teacher, and he wants her to sit with him, not putting him on her lap, but just connecting with him on a different level, like meditating with him, and then feeling in herself what is happening. He tells me that she is in a very special journey in herself, and it is when she is ready to really, I'm finding the right word, to really explore this in herself, to discover this, then it will change between the two of them. But she is sometimes in herself, pushing herself away, and that is what he is showing her. It's really important for her to love herself on a very deep level, and that is why he is, because he loves her so much, he's showing her that, and he's not afraid to be rejected by her because he does this from love. And sometimes when people learn to, we human beings are often afraid to be rejected, and we love conditionally and not always unconditionally. And Romeo is so unconditionally in love with her, and he sees who she truly is, and she will make amazing steps, and she will do so much in the world, and she will see it. But I feel for a few years a little bit of struggle in her to find really, really find out. And I know she's on an age, of course, that is normal, but with her it's deeper. Can you relate to that?
100%. Everything you said. It's amazing. She has, you know, issues about, am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? All that stuff at this age, and she's had them for a couple of years. And I think, you know, unfortunately, because she has no reason to think that, but I'm a single parent, and sometimes it goes with the territory. And I also think that, you know, we got Romeo because I felt she needed, you know, someone else to love. You know what I mean? And when he chose her, it was so...
That's why he's the male. She needed the male energy and not the female cat, not his sister.
Yeah, that did come to me, that, you know, maybe that's what she needed. She needed a boy cat and a male cat. And he's very affectionate to me, and I'm very psychic. That's my work. So I hear him. I hear him loud and clear. Play with me, feed me, love me, stroke me, brush me. But she's not tuned in like that to him yet. She has had moments of it, but so I don't. So he okay. That's really interesting. I'm gonna. She's sleeping now. You know, she has school tomorrow, but
she's asking for so much confirmation and things. But he wants her to discover it in herself, that she will love herself, and that she is going to believe very deep that she's good enough for anything, that she can reach everything. And he is very subtle, transforming with her, and every interaction they have, something happens in the positive way, even though it might feel sad. But it's a very... If you step back a little bit from the whole situation, you can see the overview, and then it's an amazing cat, this Romeo, that he has so much love that he is giving her this, and I'm really, really sure that she will see that, and it is okay that she is a little bit hurt by that he is showing some rejection and resistance, because she is showing her emotions, and she's not. It's important for her to feel what she really feels.
It's amazing. I would have never guessed that, really. That's incredible. Thank you for that. I do have one quick other question, which is, does he like her boyfriend? Because he is spending an awful lot of time in the house. And I was worried, you know, is he a bit jealous? Or, you know, I mean, you know, how does he feel about him?
He wants, it's not jealousy. He is very much observing, and he shows that he looks with a different eye to him. He's a little bit like, okay, first see it, then believe it, you know, everything. But he's not jealous. He is so loving her unconditionally that he wants her to experience every step in her life very consciously, and he gives her the space to do that. And that's beautiful how in the way he does that.
Wow. I knew he was special. I knew that. But I didn't even know he was that special. So that's really lifted my heart to hear that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you too. And thank Romeo. Wow. But he was working over your laptop.
He does not come up on my desk, okay? He knocked over a cup of coffee on my laptop, and he learned, well, do not come on Mommy's desk. You know what I mean? But he jumped up when he heard your voice.
Wow.
So clearly
so much love to Romeo.
Oh, we always say Romeo's a lover, not a fighter. So I'm sure he's sending love back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too, for calling, Sean.
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sean.
Els, you've mentioned that many times an animal will reflect their owners. One of the examples you used was when a pet has an eating disorder, the owner may as well. What can our pets tell us about ourselves?
They tell us so much about ourselves. It's like you say with an eating disorder, it doesn't always have to be that the I want to say owner, but I'm gonna a fellow companion, that they have a eating disorder. Often it shows, it mirrors that we live our life in a more kind of unconscious way. When you have an eating disorder, it's like it has to do with suppressing emotions, but also living, in this case eating, without even feeling or thinking about it. You don't know when to stop, and in the case of bulimia. And if you can see that, like I told Sean, like sometimes try to step back, sit in another room than where your animal is, and just look at your life and look at your animal and what is really aligned with each other, what are they mirroring. It's really important to step back. When you're in the middle, I mean, everybody knows that when you're in the middle of a situation, it's not always easy to get answers, but afterwards, or when you step back a little bit, or when you go outside for a walk or a bike ride, then you immediately feel like, okay, wow, and then you get the aha moment, what is the deeper meaning. Is that a little bit answering your question?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah, because I seriously believe that the pets do reflect what the owner is may be going through. Mm-hmm. And once again, I don't mean to use the word owner, but for...
Yeah, but it's like also when you go with your animal through a very, like a sickness, and they pass away after them, it's really, really serious and very sad. And sometimes the meaning behind it is to learn to deal with death. I mean, death, the body is dying, and that they teach us in such a lovable way, and you feel so close. And it's one of the saddest things can happen for me when my animal leaves here, planet Earth, but at the same time, when you can do it with a conscious mind and feel it, then it's all in the way how you enter the situation. And the animals live in the now, so every day is a new day to start to see them differently, also with behavior. And I know a lot of people who find it very difficult to be consistent with their dog because they think, well, he's on the same level and it doesn't matter. And the dogs do need certain rules, or they want to look up to you, like, because this gives them a feeling of safety, like you know what to do. I don't have to take responsibility for everything. I don't have to make decisions when I see a dog I don't like so much. I don't have to need to bite or growl at that moment because I feel safe with you and I know you will handle the situation right. And that is also really important. Often it gives like children or teenagers a lot of self-confidence when they learn this with a dog, to become stronger and to have a little bit the leading position, because it will change them in coming up for themselves, feeling more confident. And that's beautiful how animals teach us that.
And living in the now is such a wonderful lesson too. It's something that we take for granted. Now I see that there's a person in the chat room by the name of Golden4861. They have a question for you. Golden says, I was told that on a soul level, lost pets want to experience being lost or stray, and people can't change another being's destiny. So does this mean that people shouldn't look for their owners because they can't find any way? I don't understand it. So does this mean that people shouldn't look for their owners because they can't find them anyway? I'm assuming that's what that means.
But animals should not look for their owners. I mean, or I want to get it right. Do you mean? I don't really get the question.
Yeah, I'm trying to phrase it together. So does this mean that people shouldn't look for their owners?
Well, I think the person was perhaps saying first said that on a soul level, pets want to experience being lost stray, so that perhaps we shouldn't look for their owners. But perhaps they were wanting your input on that about animals wishing to experience being lost and stray.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I'm thinking about and feeling it, what golden really means. It's like, I have the feeling it's like he's asking, or if they also have like karma they have to let go, that they have to experience. I don't know if it's one thing that they want to experience, but maybe that they have the feeling they have to go through things to release their karma. Could that be that he needs that? What my experience is, I don't see it that way, because there are animals incarnated with already problems that they need to resolve in this life, but they will do it with the owner that fits them best at that point, and they, in the same time, this animal is helping the human being to transform. So it is quite complicated, but
well, I think
I don't know if they really want to experiencing it.
Mm-hmm. Golden reiterated here, and he said, I found several strays, but should he look for their owners? So if someone finds a stray, should that person look for the owner, or is it destined to be that this person's supposed to be with that animal?
Ah, like that. Okay. Okay. Let me feel. It is. I really understand it now. It depends. It's not the same with. It's not the same with every animal. For example, I have a cat here who was on the street, and he talked to me and he said, my family will not come back because they didn't have time for me anymore. They put me on the street and they put the attention, please, I hope you find a new home. That was good for me, of course. I could ask my cat this. So, yeah, still I put him on the lost and found because I thought, okay, I'm going to do that anyhow, because you never know if they want him back. I mean, I'm happy now that he's with me, but I believe too that sometimes animals are ready with certain people, and then they are really destined to be with a new owner, a fellow companion, and I think you will really feel it when you see an animal who's lost, and it also is did this animal walk away? Was the gate open and he was just exciting and think, oh, okay, maybe I meet a nice little friend and I'm just walking out? Or is it really, is he put on the street, or did he walk away with a conscious mind? You know, it's very, it's not so easy to answer this question with one answer, because I think it really depends on the situation of the animal.
So what you're saying is it's kind of like a child going through adoption. Inevitably, the child ends up with who that person's supposed to be with.
Yes, exactly. And I think with animals, it's sometimes so easy. Every time when someone thinks, oh, I don't want my animal anymore, they can find another owner. With children, it's of course a little bit more difficult. Happy to that it's not that easy. But I think if you really feel like my animal doesn't get the right, it's not in the right place anymore here with me because I had no time or this, or maybe the owner died, I really believe that it's okay for an animal to go to someone else, but it all depends how you do it, and it's very, it changes in every situation, it's different.
Well, Golden, I hope that
you.
answered your question. Heidi, would you like to bring in? We have a caller online here. Would you like to bring that caller in?
Absolutely. I'll bring them in. Nick, are you there?
Oh, hi.
Hi. How are you tonight?
Paying attention. I didn't have any specific question, but I was just wondering if my cat was trying to convey a message I just didn't get. Because sometimes she seems to be trying to tell me something, but I just don't understand what she wants. So, is there anything you need to know about her so you can, get in tune with her?
Nick, what is your cat's name?
It's Mira.
Mila?
Yeah, Mira.
Okay, well, Mira. Mm-hmm. And how old is she?
I don't know exactly because I found her. She was like about 4 months, so I guess she's about between 2 to 3 years now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What is special that she shows me, I draw it, unfortunately I cannot show you, but she shows that her mind and her body are sometimes very separated, and she says this is also a mirror for you, that you can be very attuned and connected, and that you can also be or very in the mind or very in the body. And this is she tells me there are, I feel this now because I get a higher heartbeat, and that means, often it means that there are a lot of beings, and there are a lot of light beings with you, and they try to connect with you. Wow.
Really?
Okay. This is, wow. What, can I ask you what you do? What do you do in your life?
I do a lot of things. I can't really tell. It's quite big. Well, I go to school, I work, and I do all other stuff around that. I play music, I study, I do a lot of things. It's kind of hard to say.
Music will, music helps you to invite, to really align to your soul connection, with very subtle energies and music, and it's important. This is what she really wants you to know, that it's okay to live in different worlds, like very much with the mind, very much this and that, and also being more intuitive, but the music will invite the beings more in your life. And I hope this doesn't sound too vague for you, the light beings, but they're okay. I will tell you something. It would be very good for you if you take like 5 minutes deep breathing. The breathing is so important because it will help you to be very consciously in your body. And then after 5 minutes of breathing, you start making music, and not just playing a song, but playing or singing or whatever you do, just as it comes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do that.
This will really raise your vibration, and then you will feel that you're even more connected to Mira, because you are more at the same frequency, and you start to notice her signs. Then maybe you had a very busy day, and then she's acting in this behavior more like, hey, I want to show you something, and she means then step back. Don't step forward, step back, take your time for yourself, and just be in the moment. This will give you so much energy and so much joy also, because you feel yourself more in every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help you a little bit?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're
Thank you, Nick, so much for calling in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Els, I had a question. We had this Superstorm Sandy last year here in New York, and I was helping with many of the relief efforts, and I wondered what your advice might be to the owners of so many displaced animals, which people just, they don't even have homes, and so they've had to give up their animals either temporarily or sometimes permanently, or oftentimes the animals just got lost and other people find them. It's an enormous problem here, and I wondered what your advice might be in a situation like that. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time this happens.
Well, it's what is very important is also when you interact with or meet animals in a shelter, it's question yourself. If you would be in a situation like this, you would have lost everybody. You would have no idea where to go, or you have no home. You don't feel safe. How would you like to be treated? And I think it's very important with these animals to really give them space, not just walk into them and give them a hug and everything. I mean, they don't know you. They are very much in fear or insecurity, and give them space and just be in a very lightful state. And that's the beginning, of course, when you meet animals like this. And then if you, I think it makes people also aware to see that animals can really suffer and that they have feelings, and it opens, my experience is when I see this also on the news and everything, it opens compassion in people, also people who are not, who think they don't have so much with animals, you know. It's changing a lot in different areas, and how to give them all a home, I don't know. I don't have a solution. I wish I had a solution for that. I would love to have a big dog farm where all the dogs can come and just play and run around and everything. And they do exist, of course. They do exist. But if you see an animal in a cage or something, you can give them so much by just feeling very lightful and joyful, and take them in your energy, in this joyful energy. Then you made their day just by being, please don't be sad or angry, because they will feel that, and that will really not lighten up their energy.
Really good advice, really good advice. They're such mirrors too, and they're such, wow, they are such teachers to just the lesson of raising our vibration.
Oh, sorry. Yes, exactly. We don't cry for them. We feel the sadness in ourselves, and we cry for ourselves to release that. And we have to be strong when we are with animals who are
just to teach us to raise and to live in a higher vibration is worth its weight in gold. Right now, I feel. I'm curious about. I think I know the answer myself, but I wanted others to hear. How you said when you communicate or you first encounter an animal, horse, cow, pig, dog, cat, you gather information. You don't approach too closely or too quickly, and as you gather information, then you said you translate it so the companion can understand what you have learned. How do you hear this information to begin with? Is it energetically? Is it in colors? Is it in pictures? You mentioned before chakras, and is it the combination of all? Or how do you feel this energy before you translate it for the companion?
It depends. Some animals really like to talk in images. Some really use their voice more. Not really the voice with barking, but I hear it in my head. Like I have voices in my head, you know. It was crazy.
You're one of us.
But like, for example, now when I speak with, for example, Nick or Sean, then sometimes I'm all the time switching between talking with the animal, feeling the animal's energy, and immediately speak to the owner. And that sometimes I have to find words because I'm in two different places at the same time, and then I have to translate everything. I see so many things at the same time that it takes a lot of focus and concentration to translate it at the same time. And I teach myself in that. When I also told Nick, oh, I'm sorry, you cannot see my drawing, because I draw a lot. I draw the animal, and then I draw in the picture, in the image of the animal, everything I see, like blocks and where the energy is. And so I do that, and I write down words, and maybe they have questions to the owners. I do that, and colors and advice what they can do. So it's a little bit chaotic sometimes, but when you look back at the end of the session, then everything comes together, and that's so beautiful. That some things I'm thinking about it, think, okay, why is this relevant? But then I write it down, and it always comes back in a certain way of importance, you know.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to channeling, where you have you are given information, and it's not in English or Dutch or Spanish or French. It's vibrational or colors or pictures, and then you have to translate it for in the language whoever is in front of you. You have to, and you pick. Do you find you're very concise with the translation? I find that when you channel or this information, it comes out very concisely, oddly, very clearly, because you have to be so careful with the words you choose to try to represent the information you've been given.
Yes, because sometimes I see something and I want to talk, and then I get something in my throat, and then I know, okay, this is a sign, don't speak about this now. Maybe 10 minutes later, maybe not at all. And I really have to be very aware and very careful with what I say, because we want to understand it, and sometimes I learned, okay, it's not important that I say it, they will feel it, you know, and not always everything needs to be said. That's really important, yeah.
Yeah, the silence and the space.
Yes, and the integration part is so important. In the beginning, I always thought, oh my God, I'm working with this animal now, and I want to know everything, and I want to know as much as I can. You know, I was really enthusiastic, and I thought, oh, amazing. But I really had to learn sometimes 5 minutes is more than enough for an animal. Some can need like an hour of healing, but the integration time, like 2-3 weeks maybe at least, that they need to allow the energies to find their way and not give a healing every single day. That can also be too much.
Wow, fascinating. Greg, you had a question?
Yeah, I did. Just to follow up a little, when you first started communicating with your dog, did he mention any ways for you to make your relationship better with him? And what can we do as pet owners or fellow companions to make our relationship better with our pets?
Oh, that's a very good one, because I thought about that a lot. Of course, I wanted to know everything about my dog, if I did it right, and like I said before, everybody wants to know that. Our dogs look at us with a big awe feeling, like you are the most amazing person in my world, so they don't understand it if you doubt everything you do. It is very important when you do something, like you have the feeling, okay, now I have to go to the vet, or now I leave my dog at home when I go for holidays. If you are completely okay with that, they will feel you, and they will lift their energy because of what you feel, that you are so secure of what you're doing. And it's not always easy to do that, but it's very important to trust yourself and the decisions you make with your animal, because you know, sometimes we are allowed to make mistakes, and even though you're not 100% sure, just feel safe, feel secure about what you do, and even if it turns out to be the wrong step to take, I mean, we are here to learn, and then at least they felt the safety that you know what you are doing. That's also with a parent and a child. children look up to the parents. Okay, we do what you do because you know everything, and we are safe with you. And they don't think about if it's really right. But I mean, the animals are so depending on us with food and with the exercise and with so many things, you know.
Mm-hmm. So is that why some pets have separation anxiety because their owners do?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
And not, I mean, if there were a lot of, in Holland here, for example, a lot of people take a dog from Spain or Romania because they will put to sleep otherwise there, and they of course already come with a trauma, and it's a big challenge to really get their trust and really make them feel safe. But yes, I think often we feel so bad that we have to leave them behind that they really mirror us back, like, yes, it's the most terrible thing in the world to be a few days without you, you know?
Yeah, I do know. I think we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you communicate with all animals, such as fish, birds, and insects?
People ask that a lot. I have like insects, they have a different frequency again. I can do it, and sometimes I do it, but it takes me much more time because I didn't really specialize in that. I work mostly with cats, dogs, horses, cows, sometimes dolphins, and yeah, that's the most common thing. And I think nobody would come to me with a fly, but sometimes, well, for example, when I have flies in the house, and I really try to, with my intention, with my energy, I send them to the window that they can go out, and I work with that a little bit, and that's really cool. People can do that also to help them become free again. So yes, you can communicate with every animal, is my belief.
So let me ask you this. If a mosquito lands on your arm and he starts sucking the blood out of you, what are you going to do?
If they're already sucking the blood out of me, I would really, with my hands a little bit like, please go off me.
So what if there's? I'm serious. Would you? What if he continues to still suck the blood? Would you let him?
My first response would be no. At that, I can say now, oh, I love all animals, and I do, but I'm also protective to myself. That I don't like it so much to have a mosquito bite on my skin.
No, I don't think any of us. Yeah, and if there's what if there's a big spider in your house? What are you going to do?
Well, with spiders, that's maybe also a female thing. I don't know with some, but I really see that they are very useful. But I call someone, or I ask someone to put it outside. I don't do it myself.
That's I don't call someone, but actually I'll scoop them up and try to contain them in a cup or something and bring them outside. Also, yeah. Heidi?
Yeah. Els, you find, I know you mentioned when you first started hearing your dog talking, you had to go through the whole process of thinking you're crazy, and then loving it, and then forgetting it because you couldn't believe that you were doing this, and then remembering. And have you had some of your companions come to you after working with you and say, oh my gosh, I'm hearing my animal's voice. I hear my animal's voice. Do you find them mimicking parallelly in a probably a smaller way what you went through?
Yes. Well, I first thought you were going to ask me if animals come, because sometimes I have animals coming in my energy to really thank me, so that's really, really, really nice. But I also help people to tune in more to their animal's energy, and I often advise them to start with animals from other people because you are not so emotionally involved with them. You will not get so influenced by the answers you get, and then because with your own animal it can be more challenging than with an animal you don't know so well yet, because you don't have any thoughts about it yet. But I work a lot with people together with their animal, and then I I'm guiding them with my energy to opening them up more, and then they can see more things. And it's so beautiful because we work on the feral companion and on the animal and on the relationship between the two of them. So it feels so complete, you know.
It is a circle. It's a circle.
Yes, yes.
It's like it's a dance. It's a dance. On that, I know we focus completely on animals here and slightly on their companions, their two-legged companions. But you do. I wanted to let people know that you do work with humans separate from their animals. And what do people come to you for? What kind of issues do they come to you for?
Very, very different. Like people with chronic fatigue come to me, people with burnout, depression, losing weight, or wanting to quit smoking. But also lately, in the beginning I was mostly focused on coaching, therapy, and I used my intuition, but not so much yet. And the more I started to use my intuition and working on an energetic level, I attract more and more clients who are really looking for their life purpose, and they feel lost in the world or in their relationship, and then together we find out where they are now, where they want to go to, and how to reach that point, and how to walk their way with joy. I bring a lot of joy and laughter in my sessions, because it is such a beautiful, amazing, transforming energy when you can learn with joy. That's not always so serious. I mean, I am very serious when I'm working, but I know that the energy of joy is changing on a deep level so much easier than when you are so serious at that point, you know?
Absolutely, it's transformational. I'm curious about your work. What do you recommend with your clients who come to you for chronic fatigue and burnout and things like that? And I'm just curious what you offer. And I know you mentioned in your path that you consider your experience with chronic fatigue as an ascension process. Do you find that with everyone who has it, or is that just your experience?
Yeah, everyone has in every disease and everything is a certain lesson. I believe that. And what is very important in the beginning, especially when you are chronic sick, is that we work on the responsibility for yourself, because my experience with myself was that I gave away my responsibility to the doctors. I went to the doctor and I said, okay, I have this and this, what can I do to get better? I assumed that they had a pill or a therapy or something that would make me better and that would heal me. And then I start on the belief system with people, that they on a subconscious level start to believe again that they are able to heal. And I work with the immune system. I use protocols to test which organs need more energy, and I work energetically with that, with vitamins, with minerals. So it's very a lot of input, but I always feel like, okay, first this part. With some people I start with the mental part, with some people with the physical part, other people emotionally or spiritually. So everybody is different, and I approach each client as an individual, like, okay, we just look at you. You are not your disease. We just look at where you are, where you want to go, what is blocking you, you know, and we start to work with that. And then they really, especially in teenagers with chronic fatigue, it's very important to work on the self-confidence part as well, because it's and the loving your body again. I hated my body for a while, for a few years, because I thought it was putting me in this position that I could do nothing anymore. And I really had to learn to love my body again, to become one.
It's fascinating. I went through 2 years or 3 years, 2 or 3 years of the same thing, so I'm fascinated, and I feel as if the process of a chronic condition and you can't, especially the self-empowerment part, once you stop the chasing of the medical profession because they never have the answers. It always leads you to a place of growth. It can't help but, and I think it's fascinating. Greg, you have a Dolores Cannon question, don't you?
Yes, I do. According to past life regression hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon, she stated that we all have to be everything on this planet in order to become human and incarnate, including plants, animals, fish, insects, and rocks. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know exactly. I don't know an answer to that. I find that I can relate to that, but I truly don't have an answer to that because I never really, of course I thought about it, and some people say like when your animal passes away they go to another heaven than human beings go. Mm-hmm. I experienced that we do meet our animal again if they are ready at that time, and we are ready. That I feel they come together. But if we are also or have been plants and everything, I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's a pretty deep question. Now, let me ask you this. Is there a hierarchy of animal intelligence? Are certain animals more intelligent than others?
Yes, I experienced that with a Berner Senner dog, big dog, Swiss dog. I had to find out that this was not such an intelligent dog, so I had to approach him differently than a dog who's very intelligent and understands everything immediately and can carry all the light. I really had to explain a lot to the dog to make him able to open up for me. So I really do feel that there are different levels, yes.
Okay. One last question I have for you. Can you tell, we kind of touched on this earlier, can you tell us the importance of living in the now?
Yes, I think that's an art of living, if you're living in the now. It's when you truly live in the now, nothing else matters anymore, no worries, the past doesn't exist anymore. You approach every new moment without the fears or sadness or pain from the past, and it's so it's giving freedom, it gives relief, and I think it's super important, and our animals are so eager to learn of that. And if I see my dog every single day, he's so happy to go to the forest again, even though he comes there every day, and I learn so much from him to enjoy every single moment, even the smallest thing, just to appreciation is so important, and be grateful, and then you also attract much more to be grateful for.
Thank you.
Do you still get advice and visited by your original dog who taught you all of these amazing skills?
So I missed if I still communicate with them?
Yes. Are you visited? Do you have dreams? Do you hear? Is it still an ongoing relationship?
Yes. I sometimes in the first few months I really felt him. It was like he was lying on my bed. I mean, I say now it was like he was, but it was very special. And for example, a few weeks ago, it was 3 years ago that he passed away, that he went to the light. And at that same day, my current dog was lying. I have buried my dog Noah in my garden here, and my dog Sam was at that day lying on his grave and just look at me like I feel him so close, and telling me. Sometimes my other dog communicates through my current dog, and sometimes I communicate to my dog directly.
That's beautiful.
fascinating. I love that. Els, we have I'm so honored to have had you on tonight. Both Greg and I are, and the in5d family. I wanted you to share with the family how everyone can reach you and get in touch with you with further questions and consultations. What's your web address and any things that are coming up that you might want to share?
Oh, first I really want to say thank you for having me. It's really an honor for me to be in your show, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
And such a great, lightful, but also deep conversation. That's such a nice, I mean, you really know how to do that. And it's wonderful to, I mean, we talked for almost 2 hours and the time is flying.
Well, I think we're all up on the desk just like Sean's cat when we hear your voice, so.
Indeed.
And my website is elsbasten.nl/en from English. So
should we spell that out,
easy.
perhaps, because it's different than U.S. websites?
Yes, it's elsbasten.nl/en.
Great. And you're on Facebook?
And I'm on Facebook. People can reach me there. I have a page there too, LG Animal Communication and Healing. And it's also on my website. You will find the link to Facebook and Twitter. And then we can all interact together and people can ask questions.
Absolutely.
Yay.
And if anyone has lost these sites, just contact Greg or I or in5d, and we'll forward you on to Els and her magic powers. Thank you so much, Els. We're honored, and we hope to talk with you again in the future.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
much love, much love.
Okay, much love to everybody who listened also.
Bye, all. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, well, next week our special guest will be you. We're going to have open lines, and we'll be talking about your dark night of the soul and the shifts. So many of us have either gone through or are currently going through the dark night of the soul. So we're looking forward to your stories and how you got through that monumental point in your life. On behalf of my co-host, Heidi Cole, this is Greg Prescott from in5d.com. Namaste, everyone.
Though the game seems unfair, don't stand outside, don't